Welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining me on Primetime. I'm your host Beverly, and we welcome those at home and those online. Well, we know that election day is fast approaching, and the contesting parties want you to hear their side of the story. They want you to know all about them. So stay with us, and we'll be right back, for This is Primetime.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
Welcome back, and so you see we are in the political arena. We have elections just around the corner, and so we are trying to give some of the unknown faces a chance to say reasons why they chose to be on a slate. And our studio today is candidate number 10. She is from the National Alliance Party. She's what you call a new kid on the block. She's Ludmila York Duncan, candidate number 10. Thank you very much for joining me on the program.
Thank you so much for having me, Beverly.
Yes, and Ludmila, while we were talking about getting the program together, we said, let's give some of the new faces a chance and some exposure. We've had the other oldie goldies for quite a long time. So I said, okay, let's call Ludmila. And so the burning question is, why have you decided to contest the upcoming election?
I think it goes back actually to when I was a child. I have always wanted to be a leader. I had this love for government and the fact that they are responsible for not only making the people's lives better, but they have the power to do a lot. So for me, I've always wanted this. And I actually wanted to wait until 2020 when we were supposed to have elections. I wanted to do some things in the community. However, it's come up, and I think now is the time for real change and new faces to enter the arena. So I jumped at the opportunity, and I'm really excited about it.
So did your dad influence you at all to come on, take a chance this time?
Of course, I always tell people growing up, and my mother being a teacher and then principal, we always talked about the social issues in the house. Honestly, we never really talked about anything else but politics. So I've been arguing politics since I was about 12. Not that I knew then what was going on, but it's been something that is a part of me, yes, definitely.
And so you postulated yourself on the list. What difference do you hope to make if you are elected a member of parliament or a minister?
One of the big differences that I plan to make is creating an atmosphere of participation. So actually changing the structures that we have in government to include the citizens in decision making, because a lot of times, we have a pretty vibrant political atmosphere here. We go to the polls in big numbers most of the time, but after elections we kind of go back to our regular lives and we complain and we grumble. So citizens don't necessarily have the opportunity to really be a part of decision making, and that is something that I think needs to change, getting everyone actively involved. And there are a number of different ways you can do this, whether it's referendums or censuses to hear what the citizens want. That is something that to me is really important in changing the mindset.
We see that our island has just gone through terrible devastation with hurricanes, and so there are a lot of burning issues to be dealt with. What issue you think is most important to you that you would tackle right away if you get into government?
Well, there's a lot of very important issues, including housing for those that lost their houses and jobs, extremely important. One of my main platform points, though, is the fact that our communities need to be strengthened so that we can help ourselves and we can also do what needs to be done for our neighbors. And so community development is important. If we can structure the councils to really act as a representative, they can act, The councils can act as a liaison between government and the people and put pressure where is necessary, get funding where necessary to really address the needs of the people. So district by district, I would want to focus on addressing those needs.
So why should people take February 26th election seriously? You heard a lot of people saying, I'm tired of voting. I don't think I want to vote this year. I don't want to be bothered. There'll be so many. Why do you think people should go out and take February 26th and take the election seriously?
Almost everyone I've talked to have said initially that they didn't want to vote, and that is their way of protesting. However, I am, as diplomatic as I am, I'm very radical as well in saying that I think now we are at a crossroads in our country where if you do not vote for new, competent politicians, the country will continue down the path that it is. So it really is right now one of the most important times in our history to get your vote out and to vote for real change. You know, for me as a young candidate, I tell everyone that the older politicians, those that have been around for 20 and 30 years, they have their solid bases, but now we have to build our bases. And I think that it's exciting to be a part of this new movement of younger candidates who are really excited to make a change.
And so why should people vote for Ludmila York Duncan, candidate number 10 on the National Alliance slate?
My tagline is young, strong, progressive. That is how I describe myself, and that is how I believe anyone can actually describe themselves. You know, young because, of my age, but also the fact that I am a creative person and I want to bring innovative ideas to government. Strong because, okay, we are St. Martin strong. We have been through a lot and we keep standing up. Me personally as well, I've been through a whole lot and I'm not afraid of a challenge and I am not afraid of doing the work. So strong is also a key word that I use. And progressive because we have to move forward. We have to push this country into the future, and it has to be planned and it has to be approached in a really smart manner. And so that's young, strong, progressive, that's me.
As a daughter of Roland Duncan, who's also a veteran in politics, any special words of advice he's given you?
Yes, I mean, he has told me one that because I'm a policy advisor right now in government, I have the knowledge, I have the expertise, so I know that I have to do the work. So he's saying to me, don't get involved in the politicking and the grandstanding. Do the work, and that will speak for itself. Yes, definitely.
Okay, Ludmila, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for
we wish you good luck, and stay tuned, and we're going to be continuing with another candidate of the program today. We'll be right back in a moment.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
A cruise is a great adventure, not only for passengers, also for us. The Port of St. Martin. Our port always reflected the needs and aspirations of the time. From the first to the 1.75 millionth passenger in 2013. Our cruise story started in 1963 with our first cruise passenger. 50 great years later, 20 million passengers later, thousands of cruise berths later, we've become the leading port in the Caribbean. 50 fantastic years. Like a dream. The dream of Port St. Martin lives on and reinvents itself every day. The best is yet to come.
At Travel Planners, we love what we do. Every day we help our clients plan their vacations, from honeymoons to family reunions, trade shows to conventions, school trips to sports tournaments. Our agents at Travel Planners can help you make better, wiser decisions on travel destinations and cruises and find you the lowest fares. Make some memories with help from Travel Planners in Phillipsburg and on the Airport Road, Simpson Bay. Visit our website at Planners SXM and like us on Facebook at St. Martin Travel Planners. We take care of all your travel needs.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. This is Prime Time, and as we said, welcome to those at home and on the line. Sitting in studio now for this segment and other segments to come is the leader of the National Alliance, and that's Silveria Jacobs. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Beverly.
And
Thank you so much.
Also parliamentarian. Yes, all these titles. So I'm going to go straight to the chase. Another election, another campaign. How do you feel about it?
Well, of course, initially I was not pleased at all. I thought that we were working very well. We were working hard. Yes, we were hit with a disaster, but I did not expect that government would be broken and have the consequence of elections. And initially I was totally taken aback by it and did everything I could to alleviate or avoid it. But seeing the lack of participation from the other parties to form a national government, and then as it got later, seeing that it would not make any sense because we would only sit for the same period of time anyway, I resigned myself to the fact that the people will have to take a decision. I think a better decision moving forward, given our circumstances haven't changed in how we get elected, to make sure that we have a government that is sitting for 4 years next time around.
Yeah, that's the wish of the population.
That's the wish of the population as well.
And so when we look back, did you ever, in hindsight, think that one day you would be the leader of a political party and for, say, the National Alliance?
Well, definitely not when I joined. Definitely not when I was just a campaigner. It is only since 2014, especially after I got such an overwhelming support from the public, and the party leader at the time was like, finally, he feels like someone can take over the party who is pushing and who has, heart and soul for the people of St. Martin, that I started to consider it. I still didn't think it was important for me to do, but in the past 3 years, though I was quite reluctant in the beginning, I have grown to accept that the people see me as a leader. I am a leader in my own right in other areas. I mean, once you're leading a classroom, you're a leader.
Exactly.
So I've been doing that since 23. And I accept that the people see something in me that I don't think I necessarily saw in myself at the time, but I have risen to the occasion, as they would say. That song, Rise, from Andra Day, has been truly inspirational to me, not even, before the hurricane. Despite circumstances, if you work hard and if you are true to yourself, that you will rise above circumstances. And I believe that I have a strong conviction of working hard for the people that I think I could then put across more than just one ministry as a leader now. So I've accepted that mantle, and once I decide I'm going to do something, I go for it. 300+%.
I hear you. Now, you've always done normally very well at the polls, and a lot of people are saying, they don't know they're going to change their mind. They don't think they want to come out and vote. How do you think you will do this time around?
Well, Beverly, I've been getting a lot of good reception, and especially in taking over the leadership of the party, I've even seen even more support, even across party lines. So people who initially didn't want to vote are telling me now that they're seeing how things are going, they're seeing the lack of preparedness of this new coalition. They're happy that there's an election now because they could not see this lasting until 2020 with the current government. So I'm inspired. We are taking a tact of being active listeners even though that's something as a teacher you have to do anyway. You know, once you have so much to say, it's hard to always listen, but we think it's important. We're going out in the community, we're doing surveys and asking the concerns of the people to make sure that our plans include what they see as priority. And the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly, the people are looking for new hope. And I think with the new leadership of the National Alliance, we can offer a renewed hope, but even more so with a strong ideology, strong party support, as well as several new millennials and sitting millennials who are already making a difference in Parliament and who I believe with the mandate of people we can go complete with a full win so that we can represent the whole island of St. Martin. And we've already done so much to collaborate with our friend side while we were there. I can only see us really functioning even better as a 37 square mile island with the National Alliance at the helm.
And how do you respond to the comment of elections? Boy, it's the same old again. What's your response to that?
Well, I think because of Irma, it is not definitely the same old. Yes, you have to go to the polls. Yes, you have to get your message across. But of course, with TV being knocked out, several radio stations as well out, we have decided as a party we're not doing the big bulletin boards out there on the streets with wooden structures. If someone they own a building or it's their own building, or if someone would willingly let us put something up against an existing structure, we will do that, but we're not constructing anything that can be blown down. We're really doing the door-to-door. We're doing the, via the different types of media, social media, radio, especially social media, because that is the most cost-effective right now. Right. And it is important that we get a message across. And we are doing that based on what we are, who we stand, what we stand for, our accomplishments, but also some of the plans that we've already started to move forward, and involving, of course, like I said before, the public's perception of what's important right now, the rebuilding, stability, recovery of this country economically as well as socially, and that will be our priority moving forward.
Okay, we'll take a break and then we come back. We've had coalitions for the last 6 years. What needs to be done to avoid a situation? Because they're saying the real answer is to get a full-out mandate. Coalitions do not work. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. Don't forget to view us on Facebook and on YouTube. And please subscribe. We'll be back in a moment.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The Daily Herald is my first source for up-to-date information and news. Putting together this program of prime time requires research and knowledge of current events. For local news, regional and international news, do read the Daily Herald. And so, as I was saying before we took the break, that we've had 5 elections in 6 years, and we need to avoid this situation again where coalitions, as we said, do not work. What can you do to make sure that we have a full mandate for a proper government for 4 years?
I think, especially since the election ordinance didn't change, the people of St. Martin have to decide now, for once and for all, not to spread their votes over several parties. You have to choose a party that can represent you fully. I believe the National Alliance is the best choice for that. Of course, you might say I'm biased, but if we really look at, the seemingly unhappy marriage that occurred, I think the bigger parties have the best chance of forming the full, getting the full mandate of the population. While there are, I'm not discrediting any small parties, we've seen over the past years that it has just served to water down the vote, and therefore bringing it down also lower, and the people saying, well, your vote going to waste. If they get a seat in Parliament, it would have an effect, but if they don't, then it basically it counts against and them, and it helps then other parties to get that residual seat. I think the National Alliance deserves an opportunity to serve for 4 years. We have never had that opportunity, but we have proven in our short stints that we can perform, and with the interest of the people as the first priority. The people of St. Martin deserve stability, especially now in this recovery period. We cannot have another election in the next 4 years. But you also need a party that is dedicated to make the necessary change. That if, the electoral process is changed, that this type of a situation doesn't have to occur regardless. And I would like to put it back to the public as to how to do that, because there are many options. We are proposing the dual ballot system where you can vote for government as well as parliament on one sheet. I've seen, the US voting ballot. It's a huge, almost newspaper-sized sheet, and they vote for their judges, their sheriffs, their state representatives, everything on one sheet. And I think that we should be able to wing it or hack it for just the two, parliament and government that we have, and that would give people more of a sense of ownership of whom sits there. Because right now you're voting for members of parliament who will then choose who represent you. And some, you don't have to be off of the slate. We have, as a National Alliance, really done our best to do that every time. And even if we did pull someone from that wasn't on the slate, it's a professional in the field, and then that person usually ran the following election to, pay their dues, as you should say. And we've been quite successful with that. We've also had the most stable candidates sticking with the party and being able to stick together. So I think that's important in looking at the two options that we have. Notwithstanding the smaller parties, I do believe, and I did try to lobby with some of them to come on board. And we did get some of the members of the OSPP with us, and also one from the Hope. And with all the wonderful young millennial candidates, I believe that the National Alliance is the best option for the people of St. Martin for a truly stable, progressive government.
I was going to ask you that, was it challenging because we need to, accept the fact that we need some new blood. We need the young millennials coming in and giving their share. Early on in the program we had Ludmila. Yes, first time on a slate.
Right, and so dynamic.
Yes, so how challenging is it to make sure that you get some of the young blood coming in?
Actually, Beverly, it was actually, in terms of, because it's a snap election, we were actually preparing several candidates for 2020. And so we got some of them to run on short notice, but many of them, there are many, many more who are interested, were like, we are not ready yet. We were really trying to, work on our community, making sure that the public got to know us before getting into the race. And I think 2022 will be a dynamic year to see even more change. What I love about leading this new party is that we have our strong older candidates with the experience. We have those who ran maybe once or twice, and we have a good amount of young, hardworking professionals who want to make a difference, who are saying we're not sitting on the sidelines, we're not going to have Twitter fingers and Facebook fingers and only comment and be negative. They want to be the change that they want to see in their country. And the progressiveness of this party is that we will continue to nurture them, because Silveria Jacobs have no intentions of being a leader of this party for the next 20 years. I believe that in this day and age, with change, with the 21st century, change comes much faster than it did before. And as a party, we are primed to continue to nurture our youth so that they can inherit this party and take it to the next level in their time. So I don't plan to be here forever, but I'm doing everything from now to include them. We have several meetings, we guide them. We just had a meeting also, with the Electoral Council. We're encouraging them all to take part in that and giving them all the guidance that they can, not just for campaign, but for actually governing in the future.
Okay, and finally, you are now the leader of the National Alliance. What is your message as leader and candidate?
Well, as a leader of the National Alliance, I must say that I am proud to be leading this group of individuals, that we are under the theme always progressive, that we had a very successful Congress. We saw a good turnout. We're getting good feedback on the ground. Look out for us in your neighborhood. We'll be coming to you. We want to know what you think in making our plans, moving forward, in amending our plans, because we did already have a 2016-2020 manifesto and contributed heavily to the governing program. And I believe that the National Alliance gives you good leadership, a leadership that is based on heart, passion, and working hard for the people. The ideology of the party is rooted in working hard for the people as a socio-democratic party, and that we will be giving our millennials the opportunity to shine, as you have been seeing from our boy in Parliament, Arthur Arion, that he has represented us very, very well along with the other members of Parliament. Imagine a Parliament that seats 15 and 8 to 10 of them are young millennials from the National Alliance, as well as other parties. But I think it will be wonderful to see, and the change that is there is in the hands of the people. So go out and vote. Vote in numbers on February 26th to see the change you want here in St. Martin.
It was a pleasure having you on our program today and sharing all the excitement and views of what's expected and what's to come for the National Alliance, as the former Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports and the leader of the National Alliance. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
And we wish you good luck, good success and a happy campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Look forward for more continued political programs, and may God bless you. I'll see you next week.